Hey, what is up guys? I hope you're all doing amazing. I'm in America still. I'm going back to South Africa in 2 weeks. While I'm here, I have been doing a lot of things. I went to New York, I went to Las Vegas. It was a lot of fun, but I'm finally back behind a PC. I've been playing a lot of Gwent the last 2 days, and I already have a bunch of decks that I want to share with you. The first one being this one, which is by far the most fun I've had in a while. And the main reason for that is because of one card in particular, which happens to be ORNATE CENSER. So let me show you why this card is absolutely bonkers. So ORNATE CENSER reminds me a lot of what Vatier once was, as well as what Philippa currently is. Both of those cards are excellent because they not only take away points from your opponent, they give those points to you. So if you take away a 10-point card and you get a 10-point card, that's 20 points, right? That's a lot. Now, ORNATE CENSER makes this just so much better, right? There's almost no setup involved in this card. Unlike Philippa, where you need coins, and Vatier, you at least need to wait a turn because it is an order ability card. Well, ORNATE CENSER will just swap the power of the highest and the lowest power unit on the battlefield. As simple as that. Now, take a step back and look at the meta right now. We've got Traveling Priestesses. We've got people playing hand buff Torque. I mean, those are some pretty chunky cards, right? Now, if you're playing the deck that I'm currently playing, which is Dwarves, and by the way, I didn't make this deck. It's currently a pretty big meta deck. I don't know who made it, but it's a lot of fun to play, and if you know, you can just put their name in the bottom, in the comments. Please do. And if we use the ORNATE CENSER and our opponent has like a 40-point Aglaïus, right? And we have a 1-point Dwarf. As long as they don't have a 1-point card, that means we have the lowest card on the board, they have the biggest card on the board. We then swap the points of those two cards, meaning our opponent gets a 1-point Aglaïus and we get 40-point Dwarf. That's just astronomical point value. Now, already in the first game I'm going to show you, we're going to see a big point slam in the end, and it's beautiful. You really have to watch all the games. It is just absolutely incredible, and I think people are sleeping on ORNATE CENSER. It is literally a win-con card. If you draw this and you play it correctly, you win. As simple as that. So, we also have Precision Strike as a leader ability. Precision Strike as a leader ability is very nice because A, you can get rid of pesky 1-point cards on your opponent's side just in case you don't have the smallest card on the board. Also, you have a lot of reach, you can thin with Broccolon Sentinels, you have a lot of tempo, because in this deck you want round 1 in the bag. You want to win round 1 every single time. You want to be able to deny them last say, so you can use your ORNATE CENSER when you want to, as you want to. So, Precision Strike damages a unit by 1, you get 3 charges. Once all charges are used up, you will play a Broccolon Sentinel. Now, if you kill the card with your 2-point damage, it will summon all the other Broccolon Sentinels in your deck. There are 2 of them. So that makes for quite a bit of points right there. Now, we also have another little trick up our sleeve with this deck, and that is because of our Zoltan's Company. Now, Zoltan's Company in this deck will spawn 5 Rowdy Dwarfs. That's 10 points. All of them have armor. Now, we would do this round 1 normally. If we have to, we will commit Brewer just so we win the round. Brewer will gain 1 armor for each dwarf in your hand. If it has armor, at the end of the turn it will boost all dwarfs on the row that have armor by 1 point. Then it loses 1 armor. It keeps doing that until it has no more armor left. Of course, there are ways to manipulate this, so we can play something like the Dwarven Chariot. The Dwarven Chariot has a cooldown of 1, meaning every turn you can give 1 card armor. One of these cards, of course, can be Brewer, meaning Brewer won't run out of turns. So, why do we want to play so many cards round 1? Well, again, we want round control at all costs. And 2, we have Erendite. Now, Erendite, everybody's favorite card, right? Erendite will grow by 1 point every turn you have the biggest card on your side of the board, right? Now, what's nice about Erendite is not only can you use it twice, but if you have more points on your side of the board, you're essentially denying your opponent's Erendite as well. Unlike the competitive scene where you can choose your matchups and which decks you want blue coin, you can't do that when on ladder, so you really can't decide when you're going to face another opponent with Erendite, and that's why it's so nice to deny them that value at all costs. Now, we also have Philavandra in this deck, not a dwarf, right? No. Philavandra will create and play a square tile special card with a provision cost equal to this unit's power. Right now, it's 4. Of course, you can also choose the range option, but we're not nerds. We're not going to do that. So, you never want Philavandrel in your hand. Instead, you want him in your deck. You want Isengrim's Council in your hand. Isengrim's Council will look at a random Dwarf, Dryad, and Elf from your deck, then play one and boost it by 2. Luckily, we only have one Elf, so you're guaranteed to draw Philavandrel every single time. It will thus be boosted to 6. Now, what special card in Square Tile has 6 points? Well, Zoltan's Company, of course. So, Zoltan's Company will be played a second time. Another 10 points with armor. I mean, that's just amazing, is it not? That's exactly what we want. I just noticed for the first time that there are actually dwarves here in the background. Yeah. You notice new things every day. Yep. The smoke is dwarves. Anyway, so that is basically the game plan right there. Now, all of the other things are your basic dwarf setup. So our big cards is obviously the Zoltan Warrior. It will damage 2 enemy units by 3. Every card that's not killed by the 3 points of damage will spawn a Rowdy Dwarf on your row. If this card has armor, meaning it's barricaded, at the end of every turn it will damage a random card by 1 point. Obviously, that's a very strong card. The other one is Monroe Brewis. Monroe has Zeal, so you can use his order ability immediately. He can be used 3 times, and he will transform a allied Rowdy Dwarf into a Dwarf Berserker. So those two obviously go well together, but even something like Zoltan's Company will definitely give Monroe Brewis all the targets it needs. Next up, we have Royal Decree, just to tutor any unit you want in your deck. Then we have Zoltan Chave. This will boost adjacent dwarves by 2. It also has resilience, meaning that it will go into the next round and stay on the board. Next up, we have Zoltan Scoundrel. So if you play Zoltan on the range row, he will play Duda Companion and boost all units on a row by 1. That's likely the card we're going to be going for. But if need be, you can play it in the melee row. It will spawn a Duda Agitator, and a Duda Agitator will damage all units on a row by 1. So you can also use that to maybe deny some of your opponent points. Next we have Maxi. Maxi will let you look at your deck, and you can reshuffle the deck if you don't like the way it looks. Otherwise, you can keep it as it is. Next, we have the Dwarven Chariot. Again, the Dwarven Chariot provides you armor, which is very nice. It also provides you 2 Rowdy Dwarfs if you play it on the range row. So, I quite like this card. It's also proactive, which is quite nice. We also have the Dwarven Agitator. Now, this will give 1 armor to 2 dwarves in your hand. Whenever you play a dwarf, it will also give it 1 armor. Now, I still need to learn to play this earlier myself. I tend to wait quite a bit before I play this card. Not my favorite card. It is for provisions. If you can find a better card you want to swap it out with, be my guest. Dwarf Berserker is also here. Now, this is also just a nice proactive card, really. You can use it, you can stack armor onto it if you don't have any targets, and it will keep on pinging away at your opponent's side of the board. Next, we have the Malcolm Guards. Also not my favorite card, but still. It will boost out by the number of allied dwarves on this row. So then we have the Dwarven Skirmisher. This will damage an enemy unit by 3. Also, it's 1 point. So if you want the smallest card on the board, this is likely going to be it. It will damage an enemy unit by 3. And if it survived, the enemy that is, it will give this card 1 armor. So if your card still has armor, when you use the order ability, it will be able to damage an enemy unit by 3 again, which is quite nice. So lastly, we have Mr. Squirrel. Mr. Squirrel will banish a card from your opponent's graveyard. Now, in times where people are playing Erendite the way they are, you want Squirrel to be in your deck because you want to get rid of this card so they can't play it again. Now, that was a quick deck guide for you guys. I'm going to try and keep them under 10 minutes from now on. I do hope you enjoyed this deck. I'm having a lot of fun. And yeah, let me show you some fun games we had. And it's another Square Tile deck. It is some nifty Invigorate. Another 2 reveal deck, maybe. As long as we win the round, we're good. And then bleed everything they have out round 2. Hand is looking solid. Get rid of Philavandrel. See, we learned. So, unfortunately, I don't really have removal here other than Precision Strike.
Wake up, dwarves! Humans lust after our ladyfolk!
So they'll play to Ruviel. They'll play potential Glyas. Skags. We'll have the Hawker Smugglers. We'll have Dunka. Ithleen, yeah, that's an option.
Nigh is the time of the white frost and white light.
Alright. Next up, Dwarf Berserker, I think. Just make sure Erendite keeps growing. That's all I want to see. Big ol' Erendite.
Coins rag to ye. Go kiss a dog.
So they probably didn't draw their engines then. That's for sure.
We've lived in isolation for
So you want to place those early on. Do I keep saying Teruviel instead of Torque? I knew I was saying it wrong. Torque Glyas and that Mighty Dwarf. Who's Teruviel again? Teruviel's the one that makes everything damage and the far 2 on the ends, right? It would help if I played either one of them.
Special price, just for you, love.
Scoia'tael! Attack!
Yep. And nobody corrected me. You'll hate me. You want to see me suffer. Filavandrel. Some commitment early on.
Keep a stiff neck.
Bountiful Harvest. So are they playing Simlas as well then? Probably not. Normally you don't play both.
The elders must put a stop to this rebellion.
Cheers
Else they
Roscoe,
will
thanks
face
for dropping by.
devastation.
I appreciate it. Have a good one. How about Dwarven Chariots? They have Simlas and Filavandrel.
At 2 centuries, you behave like you were
Alright.
barely one.
I just assumed you were right. Oh, is that so? So I can say just about anything. Do you think Precision Strike is better leader ability than Malcolm Forge with Dwarves? It really does depend on the archetype you're going for. Let me just quickly get ahead here, somehow. I mean, this helps for tempo and thinning, which I think is what you want with Erendite at least. Other than that, we do play Brewer once, yeah. Precision Strike's more flexible. Yeah, if you're going all out dwarves, then obviously that helps. But we have a little bit of a different thing going on here, like Ornate Censor, Erendite, we've got a Squirrel, we've got Filavandrel. There's already 4 non-dwarf cards, and if you're playing dwarfs, you want to optimize your row by only having dwarfs in it. I don't know, it's the little things. Honestly, you can go either way. I just, I kind of prefer Precision Strike in this list, I must admit.
Damn the horse sons!
Brocklon Sentinels help thin the deck. They also play for a lot of tempo. And they give you a little bit of reach with the leader ability when you need it.
Another little thunderbolt. Sure.
Nice. Nice, nice. Honestly, Ornate Censor is a must. And we're missing it. Ornate Censor will completely throw the game for them. And just because of that, I'm gonna shuffle. Hoeveel ure het ek in Gwent? Jessie, ek weet nie. Ten minste 1000, dalk 2000. Probably 2000. I've been playing Gwent since beta, which happened in 2016, so you can do the calculations. Also, I played on my PlayStation 4 for a very long time. Then I created a new account to start streaming on my PC only a few years later. So I deleted my PlayStation account because back then you couldn't transfer accounts. So I certainly have many thousand hours that is not logged onto the system. I can tell you that much.
Double face.
Oh no, I thought it would, for some reason I thought it would automatically go onto the melee row. Silly me. Okay, well, Erendite is looking chunky. Sealy? What? Oh, well, there we go. Now we just win. All we need now is last say. Easy. That's how you do it. I would have bled them, but Ornate Censor is gonna make this spicy as heck. You said a very similar word as Sealy? Chunky? Nice. Not nice. Nice. Oh, silly me. Oh. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Ah, beautiful hand. This is going to be a nice demonstration of what this deck is capable of. Where's the sword? It's right here. It's right there. Big sword acquired. Yes. Now, as long as they don't have a card that's smaller than ours, we should be okay. With Mr. Ornate Censor, at least. What shall we start off with? Dwarven Chariot. Yes. Now we just win. As long as we have the smallest card, that is.
Show me the coin or sod off.
Do I kill this now? Because of its chunkiness? It will only make Censor more glorious. Okay, I mean, you make a good point. Oh, hell yeah. Now, I'm purposely gonna play this here for many reasons. Alright, don't mind me. We have to make sure that we have the smallest card, which is gonna be the Rowdy Dwarf, at 2 points. Now we play Mr. Brewer.
Nothing like a dwarf to get you out of a tight spot.
Wait 1 turn. Why?
No mercy! I'm tall enough to kick your ass. Damn the horse sons!
So I have to kill the 2 probably with my Erendite. mean, I feel like we just win already, but I really want to see the Ornate Censor in effect. Sheldon.
Little as melons. You're one dense dunderhead.
1 point dwarf it is.
Ever had your kneecap broken?
Just in case. I'm just afraid they're not going to give us a shot to play our Ornate Censor. I mean, we have a 16 point Erendite. Oh my dear goodness, yes.
Hey! Humans have no right to make such a claim.
Okay, wait. Damage an enemy at the end of your turn if you have more points than your opponent. Increase. So they're gonna boost my little 1. There we go. Glory, 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 glory to the dwarfs.
Lie still. You've not yet recovered.
Glory to the dwarves. That is a swing. I'm not getting a GG. Just wait for it. There's no way. Wow. What a beautiful human being. Torque. You just use it with any other deck that ends up with like 100 points. I like it. It has so much potential. So much potential. Damn. Be right back, putting Censor in every deck. The thing is with Censor, again, it actually steals the points. It makes you scared to put good cards in your deck because somebody can just yoink it away. Do I agree with this card? No, I think it's too strong. I'm gonna be honest here, it has no setup at all. You just play it and it does its thing. Normally with Vatier, you had to lock a card and then you had to use it with all durability, so if you couldn't protect it, it just died.
Your attention,
Oh
please.
yeah, just steal my braver,
I
it's
shall
fine.
now speak.
So honestly, this card is insane. It requires you to run something small. I mean, I don't feel like that's a requirement. If you just have a 4 provision card in your deck, which you do, I wouldn't say that's much of a commitment, in all honesty. If the opponent has small creatures, yeah, but I mean, just I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't mean to rush you, but
Though I like it, let's put a toxic meta in place with Ornate. I see no reason not to. It can be awkward to play if you don't have last say. I get that. Though we could have played it much earlier already on Gord, on Torque, or on Aglaïs. Well, not Aglaïs was the last card, but we had multiple options there at our disposal, to be honest. Like, even now. You know what? I'm gonna do this just to prove a point. With no setup at all, I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna play Ornate. And that is what I call a 20 point swing. Like that. No setup. None at all.
well played, my friend.
Now they're gonna Vulgar Force it, but that's not my point. Okay? There are defenses. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not the most OP broken card in the game, don't worry. I'm not worrying. I'm just saying it's... Like, I've always really valued a card that can not only remove points from your opponent's side of the board, but gives it to you. It's double the points. So, Philippa is therefore, like, one of the strongest cards in Syndicate. Vatier was one of the most broken decks I played back, like, years back. And now... we have Ornate Censor. I didn't realize how strong it was now that I'm playing it for the first time. It's actually insane. Oh, I can't play this because I will end up self-milling, right? However, I do want to kill Serenova, so I'm probably gonna ping-a-ling it real quick. The red sword is also slept on. I can play for 30 plus. Oh yeah, the one everybody's playing in Nilfgaard. It's mill. No, I know, so I can't play the book or else I'll end up milling myself. But that, I'm just excited. That's an insane card, man. Yeah, so the only setup is your opponent needs to have the biggest card. You have to have the smallest card. And I mean, if your deck is built to do just that, like, you're in a good position. Yeah. You want this deck? I'll share it with you. Give me 2 seconds. I'm struggling to find it now. My apologies. I can't find it. Oh, here it is. So I also didn't really want to use Precision Strike now, or else I'll also end up thinning.
Coexistence, my ass!
Hey Nomad, how are you doing? Got the deck? Awesome stuff? Great stuff.
I like you whether you like us or not.
I just want to get rid of the resilience.
Prepare for war.
And the water, my lord. Not too broad.
Your magic can't harm me. No magic can.
Thanks for the bits, Red Sulk. I appreciate it.
Mistake stars reflected in a pond for the night sky.
Okay.
Double faith!
I kind of have to self-thin here, and I don't want to. Unless I specifically target Serenova. Yeah, I think that was the right call. So they can go through the Sentinels instead of milling everything I have. Ah, Ring of Favor, no.
Who knew you got me raging?
Okay, so Aeronite's still rather chunky. Just not a fan of the resilience is all. If you use it versus Fukushia, or you get to play it next turn after summoning damage plus rain, whatever card you're summoning big points, you can also hand or go convey to the sea. Alright, that's me passing. I have to use Erendite against them. That's gonna be a nice card. Hello Tia, I'm late but good evening. Hey Shimish. Well, yeah, I mean it's like half past
Time to get our hands
12 for most Europeans, so I wouldn't say you're late. Shall we just go all in?
Keep a stiff neck.
Yes. GG. Wow. Again.